All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. Segment one, we talked about WWE SmackDown. We reviewed that. Also, the draft picks, the show in general. So, yeah, let's not, waste any more time here. Well, before I move on to my next segment, we're going to talk about our tips and donations link. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I urge you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it, so we can, we can talk about it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you guys want to hear. Tell me what you guys want to talk about. Absolutely 110%. The show's better with a little audience engagement, 110%. So you remember to use that link. Again, the link is at the gsmc, podcast.net with your questions. So, yeah, all right, let's go ahead and get right on into this. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. So, wasting little time, we have the Raw tonight is going to be broadcasted live at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. This is also the last night of the WWE Draft. Rosters lock May 6th. And, you just kind of get into this really quick. Since they do lock on May 6th, I think it's next week. Honestly, I feel like within these next two episodes of Raw and SmackDown, I feel like there's going to be maybe a title change, perhaps. I believe that there might be just something different. I feel like maybe they view that keeping some guy on this show would be a better for the entertainment factor. It kind of feels like that they might be going toward more of either the United States champion for Logan Paul. I doubt he's going to lose it. And obviously, I don't know if Cody Rhodes is going to lose it at Backlash, but I know AJ Styles, took to social media and he said they said champions are protected and they kept them on SmackDown. And I know there's been speculation that his contract is up, but I think this confirms him signing again with the WWE, which is super super exciting. So like I said before, I think something big is going to happen. I don't know if they make that change with the Kabuki Warriors becoming World Women's Tag Team Champions, or if someone on NXT, loses their championship and winds up like Roxanne Perez if she loses her championship. But no, I don't think she's fighting on Spring Breaking night too. She's currently at the moment. Um, so, like I said before, I feel like there's going to be something that happens in terms of the championship belts. Could be like in the NFL draft where there could be trades and stuff like that, which, it's highly unlikely. But hey, honestly, the WWE draft this year tried really hard to kind of mimic the style of the NFL draft because the NFL draft is so exciting in terms of the, football fans, NFL fans, college football fans, just football fans in general. And because when you watch the draft, you're excited. You don't know who they're gonna pick. It's just like you on the edge of your seat. The surprising factor is it's something that can't be mimicked, or something like an emotion that can't be duplicated. It's something that you have to kind of feel moment of entry, the moment something happens, and you're like, like so that's I think feel like a main reason why they kind of wanted to kind of make it seem like, but not entirely like the NFL draft. So I don't know, just getting on into it. Logan Paul is set to return to the Red Brand tonight. I'm kind of interested to see what he addresses with the WWE with that universe. So, and also the new superstars that are signed to WWE Raw. Of course, Logan Paul and also the SmackDown stars are going to be gunning after him. Intercontinental Champion is going to stay on Raw. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see why they would really kind of put him, against somebody on Raw. But I just think that it's going to kind of build up to things heading toward Backlash. Right now, he does not have a challenger. So should be pretty interesting to see what happens tonight. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Next, we have Becky Lynch making an appearance the first time on Raw after becoming the WWE World Women's Champion. CM Punk is expected to be at the show. It's going to be crazy to see, when Drew McIntyre and CM Punk become, they face to face. So that's definitely something that's going to build up towards SummerSlam. We have a big tag team match. We have a 6-man tag team match between Jey Uso, Ricochet, and Andrade versus the Judgment Day. And honestly, guys, I think this is it. I think this is it for the Judgment Day. It's going to be Finn Balor, Damian Priest, JD McDonough against these three superstars that are so over with the WWE right now. Obviously, they're not going to lose. And I think Damian Priest is going to be left in a position where he's going to be vulnerable, and I think Finn Balor kind of takes over as like the head honcho, so to speak, for the Judgment Day. So I don't know. It should be pretty interesting to find out what happens on tonight's show. So yeah, so I think this, if I was a WWE writer and if I kind of wanted to kind of tease Damian Priest fighting Finn Balor at SummerSlam, honestly, I think, but it might be too early to break him up. I'm thinking maybe perhaps Backlash. I think maybe perhaps Backlash would be, ideal. But that's just me. That's just me. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our mock draft. Obviously a lot of stuff going down, and I don't know. I think tonight's draft is probably going to be better than the one they had on SmackDown. Just basically because I noticed that a lot of NXT stars were barely like called up, and I thought that was a little upsetting. They were kind of sitting in their chairs waiting to be drafted. Kind of makes me think that kind of like I think where people think of NXT as as a demotion. But hey, let's kind of move on here. First, we're gonna talk about okay. Raw does get the first pick, so that's pretty cool. I have a list of wrestlers right here that could be drafted tonight. I think, oh man, this is gonna be hard. I think they're going to go with. I think they're going to go with the obvious here, and I think they're going to go with CM Punk. They want to keep CM Punk on Raw. I honestly thought it would be kind of cool to see CM Punk on NXT because I know he's done a lot of work back in the locker room with these superstars. So like him going over there is not like really like completely like a foreign idea, but it's more like I don't know. I feel like CM Punk belongs on Monday Night Raw if he's not going to NXT. He doesn't really have any he doesn't really have any position on SmackDown. So honestly, I think he's going to go to the red brand. All right, so we got SmackDown. SmackDown right now. I feel like, oh man, I don't think that they would choose that. But honestly, I'm gonna go with oh man, but I'm gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna go with Imperium. I think right now. They already kind of seen the Gunther and Sami Zayn show. They've already seen the Gunther and Chad Gable show, and I think they're kind of going to save Monday Night Raw for like this new Chad Gable and Sami Zayn kind of rivalry that's going to be going down. So I feel like they're definitely going to groom Gunther up to. I honestly doubt he's going to fight Logan Paul. But perhaps maybe fighting Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. That would be an amazing opponent. If Cody Rhodes isn't fighting The Rock, or Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Honestly, the person you want to see him fight against more is definitely Gunther. So I think they start that feud as soon as possible. So yeah, next week, okay, Monday Night Raw is on the clock. Um, they did, I don't know. I think they're gonna stay with. They're gonna pick Judgment Day. They're gonna pick Judgment Day. Judgment Day is going to stay on Raw. Absolutely 110%. They're going to stay on Raw. There's no way in hell they're going to go to SmackDown because they've been on Raw for so long. And it would just make no sense. They really have no place in SmackDown. Kind of like a CM Punk thing. Like they weren't really jumping shows constantly, and they stayed true to the red brand for the longest time. So no doubt in my mind, the Judgment Day is going to stay on Monday Night Raw. Next we have SmackDown. SmackDown. I think this is um, when they're going to draft Jade Cargill, and either begin this WWE Women's World Tag Team run between her and Bianca Belair, which honestly, but in my opinion, honestly, I wouldn't like to see. But I hope in the long run they're kind of heading for, maybe they do put the belts on them. Maybe they do, and perhaps they lose in a match where and then Belair and their Jade's emotions kind of get the best of them, and then feuding and fighting and stuff like that. So honestly, that would be a pretty good storyline. I would honestly would love to see that. So yeah, and the next week, okay, we're on Monday Night Raw. What time is okay? Honestly, I think Raw. I'm gonna go kind of off the grid here. I think they're going to draft the New Day. I think they're gonna draft the New Day. You need a reliable WWE tag team on the roster that gets people excited constantly. You need competitors that are gonna fight the Awesome Truth for their next tag team titles. Obviously, you kind of saw DIY lose last week, and you saw Tommaso Ciampa clearly frustrated and refused to shake the Miz's hand, maybe kind of heading for like a heel kind of turn. I really hope they don't break up DIY. I really honestly don't, because Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa together it's magic. It's magic. Even when they had that feud where they were still together, but they were working together, but against opposite sides of the ring, and it was great. It was it was amazing. So honestly, I can see them kind of staying over there. That kind of gives away my next pick for Raw, but SmackDown, SmackDown on the clock. I think Kevin Owens. They're going to keep Kevin Owens on the show, mostly because he pisses off the bloodline, and this is something that's going to create perhaps I don't know. I'm really excited to see this new age in the Paul Levesque era of wrestling, because it's just all these new superstars and all these kind of like mid main cards in the WWE, like Sami Zayn, uh, kind of like Finn Balor, which recently, he's been demoted within the last 3 or 4 years. You saw Damian Priest winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm not diminishing them, saying like they're not main card, because they have potential to be main event wrestlers, absolutely 110%. And then now you have Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been, up and down throughout the industry. He was once the Universal Champion, but a lot of people knew that wasn't going to last. 1,010%. We knew that he was not going to last as the WWE Universal Champion. They were just trying to find a formidable opponent to dethrone him. And it was kind of weird that it was Goldberg, but, that was Vince McMahon writing. So, let's move on. Sometimes build a bridge, get over it, helps you move on. You can't, what is the old saying goes? You can't drive forward looking at the rear view mirror. You kind of have to look ahead. So yeah. All right. Raw, and this is going to be my last pick because we're running out of time. Raw, I feel like I said, you have the Judgment Day right now. They're kind of going to be the bad guys, and I drafted CM Punk, so of course you're going to see Drew McIntyre stay on the red brand, and not surprising at all. I like Drew McIntyre. Like, he's kind of heading for that heel slash not babyface, but kind of like that guy that's just out there to kind of go for his own thing, have his own agenda, have his own ambitions and stuff like that. And if it pisses people off, cool. If it makes people happy, then cool. And of course, you recently saw him on Monday Night Raw talking with Sheamus, kind of hinting at maybe like a feud with him. So I don't know. I just think it fits better to keep Drew McIntyre on the red brand. But like I said, like my last draft didn't go well, so I'm hoping this draft goes pretty well. I'm hoping that a lot of people would, you know, kind of, don't think I'm an idiot. But okay, so we have our last draft. We have our last draft pick, and it's kind of weird how they listed the Pride, Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, and BFAB as like one whole entity. But it's crazy because the Street Profits, well, no, they're not champions yet. I'm all counting my ducks before they hatch. But honestly, I think they're going to draft, and I know I'm taking a lot of time here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think they're going to draft definitely 110%. And this is like pretty wild. I think they're going to draft. Oh God, this is terrible. This is terrible. I'm gonna say they're gonna draft Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. A lot of people, Bronson Reed. He's the next one in line for the. He even fought. He even told Chad Gable, and he also told Sami Zayn that he's gonna be the next one in line for the WWE Intercontinental Champion. So there goes my mock draft tonight. On Friday night, it was absolutely 110%. disastrous. So hopefully it gets better. Hopefully hopefully, I'm not too far off the ball here. But hey, that's wrestling. That's what makes it unpredictable. And honestly, I'd rather be completely wrong than absolutely on the tee, predictable and right. So, I don't know if that's my, anticipation and my, feeling toward it. All right, well, next, we're going to talk about the WWE drafted stars that's been drafted already to Raw and SmackDown, and I'm going to go through maybe potential rumored storylines, and I'm either, we've done this before, where I'm a WWE creative official. If the storyline seems really appealing, I'm going to buy it. If I don't like it, I'm going to sell it. If it needs a little more time to brew, then I'm going to hold it. So, hey, don't go anywhere.